Good morning, everyone.
Hello?
I have 11:30. We're going to go ahead and call this briefing to order. Mr. Superintendent, turn it over.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Uh, what about is Mr. Youngblood on?
I don't see him, Mr. Chairman, not yet.
Miss Hutley's traveling. She said she was going to. Miss Hutley, are you on?
See her.
Who's going to play?
Heath is on. Is it Heath?
The seat's gone.
All right, Miss Heath is on.
Yes, I'm on the phone.
We haven't.
We have four, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. All right, we'll go ahead and proceed. We will review the agenda to give board members an opportunity to ask questions and comment. Mr. Superintendent, will we need an executive session?
Yes, sir. We need an executive session for safety.
Thank you. Board members, do you have any questions about the agenda? Item 1, minute. Are there any
Mr.
questions?
Chairman,
Reverend Bush, you have a question?
I have. Oh, no, sir.
Okay. Item number 2, consideration of recommendation for employment of personnel. Are there any questions? Item 3, consideration of recommendation for release of personnel. Any questions? Item 4, consideration of recommendation to approve from the Building and Grounds Committee A, system-wide door cylinder survey bid award. That question. 4B, Premier Stadium plumbing repair bid award. Any question? 4C, hospital field renovation change order number 1. Any question? Hearing none, we'll go to 4D. HVAC plumbing upgrade architectural contract. Are there any questions? Item 5 have been taken off the agenda. Moving now to item number 6, consideration of recommendation to approve improvement ground contract. Are there any questions? Item number 7, recommendation to fundraising request. Are there any questions? Financial report, we'll get that later.
Report down.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You ready? Go ahead and hear it.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Mr. Chair. Board members to receive financial report, budget versus actual, preliminary ending June 30, 2020. Of course, state of Georgia requires us to have our book closed by September 30 for the previous fiscal year. We want to target having that done today, so we'll meet that deadline. But as you can these notes will be official until they're audited. That's why we say projected deal. If you look, we have operations revenue of approximately $139 million. Expenditures approximately $1 billion. $132,131,500,000 for revenue exceeding expenditures for the fiscal year of $7,664,000 for the projected ending general fund reserve of slightly more than $29 million. And sir, if you look at the second sheet, you'll see the summary for the other funds, with general fund being there, our special revenue fund, which are grant funds. You also see our capital project fund, which we anticipate ending the year with $10 million in the capital fund. Counting our debt service fund, you pay off our bonds for our SPLOST. We anticipate having a balance of $11,651,000 in that fund. Then our enterprise fund, we anticipate fund balance of slightly less than $2.9 million. You'll see a revenue, negative revenue over expenditures of $1.2 million, and that is a result of fewer meals being served earlier in the year because of the pandemic, and also we're delivering meals to bus stops, delivering fewer meals than we do during the year. We got a lower reimbursement from the federal government. We are considering offsetting that loss with extra funding, which we can allow our expenses. We are considering that as we move forward. Jessica, if there are any questions, that concludes our report.
Board members, do you have any questions to the superintendent? Okay, hearing none. Do we have any committee report? Board item for discussion is redistricting. Ready for that?
Yes, I'll start and I'll pass it over to Nicole Bowles, our resident expert in that regard. Just so the board would know, you know, the census was recently completed, and every time we have a census completed, that calls for redistricting or reapportionment. And as a local government, the school board has to go through that process. And there are there's two options. One, we can allow the Georgia General Assembly to redraw our lines, or we can, as a local government, form a committee to draw those lines, submit them to the state for review, for technical review. Then once they're approved, we can come back and have those lines adopted. And once we get the state of sponsors, which is one of the three that we have, four that we have in our Dougherty County, representing Dougherty County being Senator Freddie Powell Timms, Representative Winfrey Ducey, Representative Tia Hopkins. I think also Representative Derek Green, Representative Waterford County. So either one of those could sponsor that legislation. Of course, if it passes review, that we have it doesn't pass the review, get the analysis, send it back for the board to we could make the bid. That's the extent of my knowledge. And I think I said just enough to get Tommy started. So, Mr. Coleman, if I misspoken anything, please correct me, and feel free to. Well, I forgot to say that the General Assembly, the ordinance plan on calling it a special session of the General Assembly, I think November 3rd is expected to last about 3 weeks. So in terms of that time frame and the time frame that we have available to us,
thank you, Mr. Superintendent. There are some things that have changed since we did this 10 years ago, and those of you who have been on the board for a while remember that we created a joint committee with the county, and then we developed a plan. That's still an option. In my view, we probably need to do that if they'll do it. But the situation, I've had some preliminary discussions with the county attorney. Apparently, he's going to give them the option of doing that but also consolidating with the city. And if they did that, there would be a 9-member board. I don't think any of us necessarily want to go with 9 members, so that would mean we would go it alone. That is not something that seems is likely to be adopted in the next couple of months. But anyway, they are undecided at this point, according to the county attorney, and he's written a memo to the county commission. And what we need to do as a board of education is kind of decide how we want to proceed with it. Ken did point out one of the many changes. The General Assembly has adopted a new law that puts more authority in the reapportionment office created by the General Assembly. What you can draft your own plan, but it has to be sent to this reapportionment office, as you said, and it'll have to be reviewed, and then it'll have to be recommended back for your adoption, and then recommended to the General Assembly by one of our sponsors, Senator Sims, or one of the members of the General Assembly, whoever we choose to do. And so that's a big change, but we didn't have to do that last time. Last time we took our own planning office, we had consultants, like Linda Meggers, we had some attorneys because there had been litigation in the past. We drafted our own plan, put it in bill form, and then they passed it. But it will have to, you can still do that, but it'll still have to go back to the General Assembly's office for, as Ken pointed out, a technical review, and I don't think anybody really knows exactly what that means. And then back to you, and then back to the General Assembly in bill form. So that'll be a big decision that either we'll have to make, or if you decide and the county agrees, perhaps the joint committee that we have had for the last 20 years would do that. So that's really what your decision is. Should we ask the county to create a joint committee or not? I believe that's always worked well because everybody was at the table, and we want to have the same, seems to me that you will want to have the same election districts as the county does, so not to confuse the voters if you can. They're going to change. We have lost, unfortunately, about 9,000 people in Dougherty County over the last 10 years. So they're going to shrink somewhat. And certainly we'll find that there's been some migration from one part of the county to the other, and we'll have to take that in consideration. Now, one of the things that is different this time is, the Supreme Court ruled Section 5 of the Voting Rights Act unconstitutional. Now, what that means is that you're not required, and they're not going to pre-clear it before it's adopted. The same criteria exists with regard to one man, one vote, and the effort not to diminish the voting strength of minorities in districts. All that's still there, but it would be enforced, I'm sure, by some sort of lawsuit rather than the Justice Department saying, yes, this is okay, no, it's not all right, in advance of its adoption. So that's a basic criteria we have. The census data, to my knowledge, is not available yet to local governments. And Ken, I know they're going to have a session here in November, but I would be surprised if they took up any local action data. I think this is going to occur in January. They're going to be too concerned with their own political hide to worry about ours. So we've got some time to worry about, to think about. I think our initial decision is, do we want to have the chairman send a letter to the county commission chairman and suggest that we all work on this in concert and together by a joint committee. I'd be happy to answer any questions that I know a couple of you have been through this a time or two, like I have, and the rest of you is probably a new experience for you.
Are there any questions, board members? To Mr.
Mr. Chairman,
Coleman,
aye.
Reverend Bush?
Mr. Chairman, Dougherty County used to have about 94,000 people, and now we have approximately 85,000. That's approximately 8,700 and some people less.
Yes.
Now, I know I kind of have an idea as to where the big shifts are, because a lot of people have moved, and they moved next door to Lee County or Worth or Bella, Mitchell County rather, some even in Baker County, Terrell. But we have lost population in certain areas because people have moved to, the majority of them have moved to Lee County. And I served, with the county, and this guy, the Republican, I can't think of his name, Mr. Coleman. He was,
Yes, sir.
no, he was a good guy to work. He was the best guy to work with the last time going around, and I can't remember his name to save my life right now, but he was a good man. And I can't think of his name, but at any rate, I think that it's, to me, I served as a chairman, and I don't want to be the chairman anymore, but I think that to me, it's best that it kind of be like it was before. And the last time we had, 7 people on the committee, and if I'm not mistakenly, we had 3 to 4, whatever it was. And I remember recollecting Miss Gaines being on that board, and late Mr. Jack Stone. And he Mr. Coleman, he sure didn't want Albany State in his district. But,
Okay. Yeah, I bet not.
I remember, I don't know how we drew a line around it, but the population.
Yeah.
And you can't do anything. You can't make numbers out of untruths. Numbers speak for themselves. We've lost 8,000 people. We kind of have an idea. We don't have the information from the census office yet, but and it's one man, one vote. That's all you got to do is draw the lines, and equalize things. And that's the way it goes, Chairman, in my opinion. And to be real frank with you, I kind of, think that it should migrate around that too. If we go that route, the chairman be from the county, since it was from the school system before, and that's my opinion,
Well, my recollection, I've got all kinds of documents that we had last time. Interestingly enough, the only document that I can't find is where we created the committee, and maybe we didn't, maybe we just voted on it. But there were 3 appointed by the county and 3 by the city. You had an equal number of commissioners and board members. And if y'all would wish to do that again, Mr. Chairman, I think that some communication between you and the chairman of the county commission would be appropriate. We got lots of time with this, and I don't know what their decision would be about the structure of the county. That's not our argument or our battle or our business, really, as officials here for the school board.
Thank you, Mr. Coleman, and thank
Yes,
you,
sir.
Reverend Bush. Are there any other questions at this time? If there are no other questions, Mr. Superintendent, are you ready for your report?
While we're waiting on Mr. Dyer, could I ask a quick question?
That's a question?
Yes, sir, Dr. Fennessy, before Mr. Dyer presents, could I ask a quick question in regards to that last?
Go ahead.
Do you need a consensus at this time of which direction to go from the board?
I think we can, I brought it up because I knew that people would be starting to focus on this because of the General Assembly action. And when we receive the census, people will want to know. I think y'all ought to reach a consensus, and the chairman ought to go ahead and write the chairman of the county commission. That would be my suggestion.
Well, my thoughts are, I agree with Reverend Bush that we go with the same process we had before.
All right, Mr. Chairman, if nobody disagrees, I'll draft you up a little letter in the next couple of days and get it to you, and you can sign it and send it on to the chairman of the county commission, if that's all right.
Sure, that's fine. Let's go.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Okay, if there are no other questions, we'll go with the superintendent's report.
Morning again, here board members. Superintendent's report for September 29th. As always, we start by COVID-19 data for our county. We did an update vaccination effort. Go over briefly proposal from MTLB Albany regarding virtual high school pilot, our roadmap for recovery, lost bond issuance update, and the other items we want to discuss. Then what's very quickly, our as of yesterday, our rolling 7-day average of daily new cases in Dougherty County is 28. And on September 10th, last time we reported, was almost 72. So you can see the significant decline in the number of cases per day. Our 14-day spread is still considered high. Of course, our food change decreasing. Our PCR positivity rate is 6.9%, and that's down from the 14.1% last reported on September 10th. Our contact, our test run time is still averaging 40 hours less. Contact tracing time steady. As of September 28th, people put in Albany at 87 COVID-19 cases. That's down from 133 COVID-19 cases in FEMA Albany as of September 10th. So it appears to our COVID-19 numbers are trending in a good direction. Starting our vaccination update, each is an employee vaccination incentive. We have over 1,700 employees who have submitted documentation being fully vaccinated. Approximately 8% of our employee population, 185 of those became fully vaccinated after the board approved the incentive program. A vaccine booster shot. Educators are not eligible to receive COVID-19 vaccine booster shot 6 months after receiving the second dose. And this is the Pfizer only right now. Moderna, neither Moderna nor Johnson & Johnson have been approved for boosters. So this will be effective for all DCS employees who are fully vaccinated with the Pfizer vaccine. We do anticipate that Moderna and Johnson & Johnson booster shots will be approved sometime in the future. As a result of boosters now being available to educators, we're working in partnership with Albany Area Primary Health Care and Stephen Putnam Memorial Hospital to offer a vaccine booster event for DCS employees. We're looking for next week, Thursday and or Friday, if possible, during fall break days, which means students would not be in the building, so it'll be much more convenient for our employees to get the shot at the time. The Department of Defense Virtual High School expanded pilot program. Department of Defense has been piloting a virtual high school for children of active duty military who are in remote locations and don't have a Department of Defense option. They want to look at expanding that project for those dependents of active duty military, and for high school, of course, who are ineligible to enroll in the traditional program, and they require supplementary courses to graduate in the current state, or they demonstrate a clear need to participate in the virtual high school program. As you know, as students move from state to state with military families, graduation requirements are different in different states. So, although a student may have been on track to graduate in one state, but their family moves to another state, they may be behind and need to take supplemental courses. So, this is the primary purpose for this expanded pilot program of Department of Defense Virtual High School. The Albany for the district base Albany has been selected as a pilot site, and they asked us for our endorsement to for the and so that they're in a object to pull stating that we're for that help. So I want to go with next, our SPLOST bond update. We bid on we look to get our rating for Moody's and finalize our preliminary official statement by this Friday. Expect the bond issue on October 13th. That bond issue $28,505,000. If possible, we'll need a special call board meeting of the Dougherty County Board of Education. Initially, they have the bond sale on the 11th that morning, and then the board would meet to approve the bond sale at the night meeting in October, October 11th. That is Columbus Day, so the bond market is closed. So they now want to have the bond issue on October 13th. We need a call board meeting of the Board of Education to approve the sale sometime after that. October 14th. If possible, take 15, 20 minutes, one item present if board is in that. Then on and the reason that is because we need to get it to the county commission to approve tax levy resolution on 18th, and then we'll have the bond scheduled to close on October 21st. Yes, for the bond issuance, $28,505,000, premium of slightly more than $4 million, total proceeds being $32.6 million, capitalized interest, and that'd be less capitalized interest and cost of issue. I mean, debt proceeds with positive for our construction account of approximately $30,600,000. Those funds we use to jumpstart two major projects that we have later this year. And especially with how renovation that this that's all I have here. If there are any questions, we would like to ask for some consideration regarding the possibility of a special call meeting on October 14th if we have enough members to be available on that. If not, we'll change it.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. Are there any questions from board members?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is Norma Heath.
Ms. Heath?
Mr. Superintendent, at what time are you looking at the October 14th meeting being?
No, whatever time the majority of the board members will be available. Morning would be great. That way they give more time to get information to the county. But any time during that day will be fine.
Okay, so is that in lieu of the October 11th meeting?
The October 11th meeting is still scheduled. We don't take Columbus Day off, but the bond market is closed that day, and so they cannot. The initial plan was to do the bond issuance the morning before the evening meeting, and have the board approve that at the evening meeting. but since that's Columbus Day, the bond market is closed, so they can't do the bond issuance that day. So we would need to have a special call meeting to approve the bond issuance after the sale.
Okay, I do understand.
Are there any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry. I was waiting for Mr. Dyer to complete his report. I do have a question of clarity for me as it relates to the pilot program through MCLB.
Ma'am?
Will that affect any funds that we receive federally for our student population, or is money involved?
Well, they will be allowed up to 2 courses, and it'll be for those students primarily who need supplemental courses to graduate. So it should have minimal impact on our funding.
Okay, you said minimal. Okay. So will they be coming into our schools to get those courses, or is it a virtual thing?
Virtual is the DoD virtual high school, and so
Okay,
they would take those courses outside of the regular school setting. We have many of the students, Marine families, that attend courses in our high school. This is a pilot program for those that need supplemental courses to graduate because of moving throughout the country and being off track graduation. Take those supplemental courses using this virtual up to 2 courses per year.
Okay, so no impact on QBE.
Very minimal impact on QB, if any.
Okay.
Okay, are there any other questions? Okay, if there are no other questions. Board members, do you want to go ahead and have our executive session now, or have it after our meeting?
At this big session, so if you want to stay on track with the board meeting starting as quickly as possible, we can certainly have the executive session after the meeting. I don't anticipate any action. Mr. Coleman, you don't have anything for executive session, do you? Mr. Cole, or Mr. Coleman, you don't have anything for executive session, do you?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Somehow I got muted. I'm not sure how. If you could include litigation, I have just 2 very brief things. The case that you and I talked about with regard to the bus and that kind of thing, we could do that.
Okay, all right.
Keep the board.
But you don't expect any action and take
No
that.
action. No action.
All right, so we'll go ahead and have our executive session after our regular board meeting. At this time, we'll go ahead and call our regular board meeting off to order. Have a moment of silence and pledge of allegiance.
Mary, look forward to stand one nation under God, civil liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Superintendent, do we have any public comments or presentation at this time?
No, sir. Here.
We do have a change to the agenda. We're going to delete item number 5. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Norman, he second the motion.
Thank you. We have a motion second to amend the agenda. All in favor? Say aye.
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 And opposed, say nay. Motion is passed. The agenda is approved. Consideration for the adoption of minutes for our mid-month board meeting held on September 13th, 2021. Do anyone have any changes to the minutes? If not, we entertain a motion to adopt the minutes.
Oh,
Proper motion is second. Adopt by minutes for September 13th, 2021. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Hearing none, the minutes are adopted. I entertain a motion to approve consent agenda. Item 2.
so move.
Do we have a second? I need this item, item 2, 4, D, A through D, and 6, 7. Do you mind, Mr. Reverend Bush?
Yes, sir.
We need a second.
I'll second the motion.
Proper motion second to consent agenda. All in favor say aye.
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 All right, all opposed say nay. Motion is passed. The consent agenda is approved. Okay, board members, call meeting for October 14th. Are y'all in agreement with that, and what time?
Morning is best for me.
Right. Can you give a time, Mr. Crowther?
8:30. 9 o'clock. I mean, I can do it anytime.
Is 8:30 in agreement with the board?
Dr. Fennessy,
Yes, sir, Mr. Youngblood.
we have a tentative building grounds committee meeting at 9 a.m. that morning. So, I mean, if it's a quick meeting, we could probably do it at 8:30, but that's already on the schedule for Reverend Bush and 9 a.m.
Mr. Youngblood, my understanding is we should be finished before then. So if we meet at 8:30, we should be finished before 9.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right. So is it consensus of the board that we will meet on October the 14th at 8:30? Okay, hearing silence means consent. So no one. October 14th at 8:30.
It works for Monday for 8:30.
And I'm good with it, Dr. Fennessy.
All right, thank you. So October 14th at 8:30, that's consensus of the board. All right. Is there anything else come before the board? Nothing else. Can we get a motion to close? Adjourn.
Second.
Motion second that we adjourn this meeting. Don't forget that we have executive session after the meeting. Please don't. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Nay. So we're now in executive session.
We need a motion to go into executive session.
Be good, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
I make a motion, we go into executive session.
All right. Did we get a second on the motion to go into executive session?
Second that motion.
All right, thank you. Motion and second, we go into executive session. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Nay. Ayes have it.